Alright, welcome back. Today, we're going to make a push as close as we can get to 2,900, starting at 2875. So, this is the first problem. The first question I have is, after check, we might be able to support something like this. So yeah, we have a couple forcing moves. This is quite interesting. So the first things that I'm looking at are, of course, the weak king here. Moves I want to play. Well, I definitely want to consider these two checks first. I have some idea of going bishop here or bishop here. And some combination of that is probably going to either win material, we are currently down in exchange, or just kill the king. So let's look at the severe one first. This kind of forces black's king to step up. And as a follow-up, we could give this check. Rook can't take, the rook has been pinned. So check, check. If the king were to run away here, we win the queen. So that's out of the question. These are of course out of the question. This is out of the question. Taking's out of the question. So really that leaves one option. There was also the possibility of check and then here, something that we could consider if it does just win the rook. I imagine there the king will step over, defend the rook, and if we just trade, it's maybe it's a winning endgame with the 4 pawns. Something to think about, but I doubt that's the solution. Here, let's look at check again. King comes here. Do we have a good follow-up? There's a queen check. King will run away. Not really sure we have a follow-up there. Even if queen check, the king can run away. So let's look again. Let's look at this check, for instance. The rook can't block because that leaves us with, oh, sorry, we can't play that check anymore. The rook might be able to block. My thought was going to be queen check, rook here, and bishop check, but I did forget about this. After this and this, though, we do have bishop here, which is highly annoying for black, because even if the queen were to protect that, we could probably overload the queen. The queen is now being forced to guard this square and this square. Well, okay, so even if we were to play here, and queen comes over, and we give check, the queen could block like this. Maybe it's actually just fine for black. So this is actually a legitimate move, I think, which changes my evaluation. I thought if there was some possibility of this, maybe then it would be a good move. But now I'm not so sure. So maybe this is actually not such a bad idea. Here, here, and here. And we just get our king involved and we have an extra pawn, which makes me think it's a winning endgame. The only hesitation I have is that if we are just winning a rook or something, then that's going to be the much better solution. So anything that I'm overlooking? Not so sure. I don't think we can start with this. We just lose the bishop. I've already taken about 5 minutes on this puzzle. Part of me thinks that this isn't the right solution, and then part of me thinks it's just a winning endgame. Unfortunate. This happened yesterday where I started with a... Okay, I obviously saw that, but I thought we would play here. Alright, I'm going to look at the analysis board for this one. Bishop h4. Ah, now that's a move I didn't see. And then this is just winning. Okay, well, that everything makes sense now. Let's go back to puzzles. Or rather, we can just do this. Okay. Well, I deserve to lose a bunch of points for that, which means now we have to just try to get back to where we started. I missed this move, bishop h4, which rules this out. And I knew that it was probably the wrong solution anyways. That's annoying. Okay, so here, this is interesting. We would like to play this move. Attacks the king with, or attacks the queen with discovered check, but then queen comes here and it's actually check. What if we start with this move though? Because currently, you know, this rook is undefended, so if the king just moves, we take it. But if they take, then we do have this. And we pick up the queen. Alright. Let's try to quickly get back some of our points. Here we have some themes of back rank mate and promoting pawns. So the first thing that we might want to consider is check. King comes here. We can't step up without giving this with checks, so we're going to come to one of these sides. And we don't want to start with that because then we just get shuffled around. So we go check. Let's pick the side further from our rook, maybe? Because it gives this king less options, fewer options. Let's say at that point, if just check, then we're gonna mate with king here. Oh, maybe not. Maybe we don't want to give the king fewer options. We actually get into danger of stalemate. You know, if we go here and check and step back, oh great, we're gonna mate. But then rook here is a stalemate idea, because when we take that, the king can't step here. So after here, 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 it's different. The same idea doesn't work, because after rook here, when we take, we leave this square open for the king. Whereas this rook would have covered the sister square. So here, here, here. Check, step in front. Yeah, I don't see what white does. So after check, king steps up. If we take this pawn, then we give check, king steps here, we give check, force the king away, and we promote. Okay, this is a defensive resource I did not see. So of course if we take, this is stalemate now. So So we probably want to move the rook in a way where we can block the lateral check. So like here, which also threatens mate, which can't be blocked with the same idea because then we can play here, and after takes and takes and takes, we play here, we're going to promote this pawn. So just do that. We're kind of close to mate here. I think we're going to mate. Like, I see ideas already of rook sacrifice and knight takes and then queen here. The idea being that the bishop is going to support the rook that comes back. Is that just mate? Here, well, if they defend, it's mate. So it looks like it's just mate. Okay, that's nice. I solved that one really quickly, so I got back a lot of my points. So that was more a case of not that I just didn't explain my thoughts, but that the first thought I had ended up looking like it worked. Clearly we have some ideas with mating here, and one of the first things I looked at as well was maybe queen sacrifice to bring the rook in or something like that. But yeah, this check makes the most sense because it lets our queen infiltrate and then also opens up this bishop. So just check, and then yeah, it's just straightforward. So last one. This is the kind of puzzle where you want to take and then play bishop here, but our bishop is unfortunately on b3. So okay, instead we do have this move. We can also take. So if we play bishop here, okay, it's obvious that we're attacking this piece, and it looks like the only way for black to mitigate that would be bishop c7, so that when we win on this square, black wins on this square. So if we go here, here, check, rook takes, check, we're still better off. So here, here, check. The king steps over. Then still it's fine. Okay, like the bishop could come back. Bishop takes and rook takes. Our bishop guards our rook. Looks like we'll get 2 pieces for the rook, which is not a bad trade. Is there anything better? If I were to take right away, so that this resource doesn't exist, takes and then pin. The problem that I had was that this rook could come in and defend now. And I don't see another way to gang up on this pinned rook. No use trying to set up some sort of fancy mate because this blocks this diagonal. So Yeah, I don't see why we can't, sorry, I don't see why we can't just play here and here and takes, or even for that matter, no, yeah, definitely take like that. If we took with the rook, then this is bishop takes with check, so we haven't won a piece. So here, 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 here. Two pieces is nice. I just wish we were winning something like an exchange or something. Because I feel like it's in the first puzzle where I think my solution is okay, but I might be missing something really strong and obvious. But what else is there? Well, I don't see it. Okay. So we made a little progress today, about 14 points worth of progress. In part because we completely failed the first puzzle, which has become a trend now. That happened yesterday as well. So tomorrow I'll have to pay extra attention to not fail the first puzzle of the day so that I don't have to scramble back. The difference being that yesterday, the first puzzle only lost us 4 points, and here it lost us 12. But we gained back most of that with this quick solve. So, yeah, it looks like 2900 is going to be inevitable. That'll be the goal tomorrow. And if we can hit that without any major mishap, then we'll go further on to 3000.